Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave daily update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, November the 26th, 2024. Not the easiest market to trade today, and of course, my market of choice during the day is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ continues to present its problems as we continue to rotate through year-end posturing. Excuse me. And as we see that, we see, one or two of the Mag 7 are ticking up and one or two are ticking down, and they're going in opposite directions, and they get that push-pull type of a feeling. So when we're jumping into positions that we're feeling we're going to get some follow-through and then we don't, and it reverses, the risk to carry that position becomes a little bit too great. And so hence, it turns into a little bit of a chop fest, I call it. So nonetheless, there were periods where you should have been able to pull out a little bit of money, but it was not that easy, at least in the NASDAQ. Over in the S&P, a little bit of a different story. We continued to rally, but it also got caught in a few moves here and there, and you're going to see one right there and another one right as we start the Globex session. But overall, though, the market did continue to head higher. Now, what was a triggering factor there was that actually in the SPX and in the ES, so in the futures market and the cash market, the call wall got penetrated and then broken. And that continued to provide a little bit of an upward tone to trade today in the S&P 500. Now, where did it kind of lag? In the spiders of all places. And again, if you've been listening to me over the past week or so, I've been talking about how that in the ETFs, i.e. the spiders, the Qs, the IWM, they've been kind of leading their futures market and plus the cash market in terms of breaking call walls or volatility triggers because they tended to be tighter. And so coming in today within the spiders, the call wall is at 600. Now, granted, the spiders have finished above 600 by the end of the day. And as we sit and we look, right now, they're bid 601. That's still, yes, they're breaking the call wall. But, if there's a lot of positions sitting at 600 that are going to need adjusting, I'm not necessarily seeing that because in essence, what really, when you break the call wall, which should be resistance, was that you're going to have to start to cover that position and make or adjustments to that position, not really seeing that. Now, having said all of that, we're going to now take a look at what we think might be going on. So I've put some new labeling up, still considering this ABC, putting it down for the Minuet Wave A as a part of Minute Wave 4. Now, notice I put underneath, or as an alternate, it is the endpoint for Minute Wave 4. And we're now heading higher in a minute fifth wave. Problem is, how do you want to count this minute fifth wave? And then we have sort of like this would be an A, B, C. If in terms of we're still working through a minuet B wave up, that seems to fit. And we can say within the C wave, it is more of a diagonal, not a nice one. I gotta tell you, these are not clean, but what I can see, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and now finally a 5. So all of this are 3 waves. Now, we've already looked at this in terms of this being 5 and then a 5 down. Now, it still appears that way, but I have to tell you, it's getting more difficult to try to wrap, well, what is it in terms of what part could this be? Well, this could be A, but this could be A of a B wave. A, and now then what's all of this? So I have to come back and I got to really look at it to really say, I see what this is telling me. When I take it out of the line and I put it into a bar, it does appear a bit different. I'd be more of a 3, an ABC down right there. but we have that little blip in there, and that makes it look more like it's a 5. But if I leave it as a 3, then it's an acceptable B wave. Small, but still acceptable. And then we start all of these series of 3s. So 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, and then 5 up. So I'm finding that kind of difficult. In other words, it almost could be like this. This could be the whole thing here. And what we really are doing is a C wave diagonal. Now, so 2, and it's difficult. So I'm leaving it blank. And we got to let the market tell us. So right now, C wave, to make it an ABC flat, pretty much. There's the 100% flat, right there at 6,053.25. Can it go above that level and still be a B wave? It can. This was 3 waves. If I leave it as 3 waves, and this remains 3 waves, it can be an irregular. And here are your fibs that coordinate with that. 1.236 and 1.382. Those are normally what we would associate with an irregular B wave. But I'll add to that, we have, in terms of C wave, excuse me, 1.618 and 1.882, or 161.8%, 188.2%, where wave C would be in relationship to that A wave. That would still be considered irregular. Why? Because it's going above, not necessarily this first one, but the second one, because it's going above the existing high for wave 3. And that is at 6,053.25. If it got up to here, which we're very close, right? And that held, and the market started to turn lower, and I mean turn lower by breaking the 8, the 20, the 50, and the 200, pretty much in one fell swoop, then I'm going to say ABC, B, and I'll put it up as a minuet wave B, and we're going to come down in a minuet C wave, and then we're still got these lower levels in play before we rally back up again in this, like this would come over, right, in the minute 5th wave. So we're stretching all of this out. I don't think that any of this is intentional, right? It's just the market doing what the market does, and that is trade and shift capital around and be getting itself ready for year end. So as frustrating as it seems, it becomes more difficult to determine. So what I try to do when I'm looking at this kind of like a mess is that it just all seems to be continuously corrective. So that keeps me in a wave 4 position, leaving open that we still do have the strength of an impulse move. Even in that 5th wave position, we're still looking for it to be impulsive. In other words, not a groups of 3s and 3s and 3s and 3s, unless the entire wave 5 is going to end up being a diagonal to the upside. But it can't diagonal sideways. It needs a diagonal up, and it would be a race to the finish. That's why you'd be looking for this. It still can do waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all being 3 waves, but they're going to be zigzags. Wave 1, ABC zigzag. Wave 2, ABC zigzag. Wave 3, ABC zigzag, etc. So, but that doesn't fit in here. Does not fit. If this could be 1, this is 2. Where's my zigzag in here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, where is it? It was just pure difficult market to pin in terms of Elliott structures. I got to let the market play it out. I have to let the market go through. So, but what I can wrap around it are fib levels that would suggest we reach, and if it does not break above, we begin to come back down. Now, then we'll be able to look again. How's it coming down? Is it coming down in a quick 5 or is it coming down in ABC? That was the problem here. If I wanted to call this the C wave and put a 4 up, or just to put the B wave up there, and this had to be 1, 2, and then look at what? 1, 2, shortened. Turns into an ABC, and then we rally again. So that pushes the whole structure up to the next level. Right now, that's 6,046, which we're just below. We are right below that level. And you can see that whatever's happening over in the NASDAQ, where they decided, oops, we got to really take into consideration what we just witnessed, et cetera, i.e. CrowdStrike. But now they're going to ignore CrowdStrike in favor of, well, we still have all these other stocks that we'll continue to see run higher and run higher and run higher. So again, traders do what traders do. And we just got to follow and put levels up and consider what's the strength that could take it up to there. Well, I think 6,046 pretty much should be hit and likely be taken out. And that brings us up to 6,055 to 6,073. How could that happen so quickly? Well, we already know that 6,055 has got a very large position sitting there that should provide some pretty stiff resistance. And it's called the call side of the JP Morgan collar. Now, that should provide resistance, but that is a position that expires on December the 31st. So the pressure, they may make adjustments by trading 0 DTEs and not touch that position. So market could go right through it. They're off trading something else to protect that position. And we're all like, well, why is that, is that the call wall? Is that what is that going to represent? To be determined, because to be honest with you, and in my perspective, I don't know. But I will tell you that I think it gets challenged. And I think they probably will go through it. So that leaves us at 6,073. Now, above that, we still could be in this B wave and find ourselves up at 6,100 or even 6,129 up in here. 1.236, 1.382. Those are the two levels that are associated with an irregular B wave. Now, again, once we get above 6,053, we're in that irregular territory. So 6,055 is a challenge to that existing position that's sitting out there. I wouldn't be pressing on it to be a super irregular if that held and the market goes down from there. I will continue then to look at this as B wave, and we're going to come down to the C wave and then go back up. And then go back up to finish the minute fifth wave, the minor fifth wave, the intermediate third wave. I still think that is what is in play. And again, anytime we're sitting this long in a corrective pattern, it's going to make you crazy. It's going to be confusing. And again, it's going to make you crazy because we're waiting for something. We keep thinking, okay, you're breaking out. Okay, you're breaking out. Nope, you're not. Nope, you're not. Okay, nope, you're not. All right, you're breaking down. No, you're not. Right? Well, you got up there. That was really great. We had this gap, and then you went up, and then as soon as you hit that high, boy, you brought it all the way down. Then you rallied up. Then you bring it, okay, we're going down. No, we're not. Stop on a dime. Let me take it back up. Let's go test that high again. First, let's get above that high, which was 40. Now let's see if we can get above this high, which is 53. And even if they do, you got 55, which probably shouldn't budge. I'm just saying. But we might get up to 6,073, and still, they maybe really won't budge. They'll still be there. There are ways to trade around all of that. There's ways to kind of protect that call wall, so to speak. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Now, moving averages on the hourly, looking pretty good. Still in total alignment to go up. Now, the 20 and the 8 are now riding very nicely. The 8's cruising right underneath the whole thing. The 20's now cruising right underneath the whole thing. A little bit of space, but cruising right underneath the whole thing. So if we open, oh, come on. If we open it up, we can see it's cruising right underneath the whole thing. And it all looks pretty good. But again, now you can see again, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and actually 3. This could be A, this could be a B, and we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, or we're going to get up there and get a 5. So it still could be an ABC, which puts this whole thing in a bunch of 3s off of there. Not sure what to make of it. And again, as I usually say, it's like, please, if you're going to just come in and give me something that's not going to be give an explanation, please do give the explanation. And I still do think that we have additional upside to do, but we may come down and finish this fourth wave first. If not, I really need to find a decent count that's going to carry this one up to where it needs to go. Okay, so because if I'm looking for that minute wave 5, I got much higher levels that it can reach, that it should reach. And whether it does it between now and mid-December, end of December, or the beginning of 2025, I still think it needs to get there. So all things in order, I'm going to be looking for either if that's my alternate, that this is wave 4 and somehow this is a building minute 5th wave. Now the thing is, it's like, don't forget, we're completing a rally phase that began in October of 2022. So we're in those final stages. It doesn't have to be as clear as a bell. It's a topping process. Now, is it a top for like a major crush? No. It's just an intermediate third. We're looking for an intermediate 4. We already realized that the decline should just bring us back to the August 5th lows. We're not looking for the world to fall apart and the ground to come from underneath us. It may feel like it at times, but we're not looking for that right now. That's further down the road. We're just looking for a correction in an ABC form. And we're looking for it in an intermediate 4, which means we get a minor A, B, and C down. Should be larger than what we got from the July highs, July 11th to the August 5th low. That was a minor 4th in and of itself. So those internals were minute, a minute A, minute B, minute C. This one will be a minor A, minor B, minor C, minor A down, B up, C down. And could it do it real quick? Yeah, it can. It really can. So all to be determined. But we're still in that iffy stage. Well, what is, what if, what is, or what is it? So those are the markers right now. 6,046 can complete a C wave and send us down in, complete a C of B, right? Put that minuet wave B up here, still incomplete. Once it's done, look for that C wave back down. Here's our markers to the downside. Where if it ends up flat, which likely that's where it's sitting right now, so it's pretty flat to me, then we're not looking for it to come much more than back down to 58.55 or 58.50, which we already know should be pretty strong support. So the picture begins to build itself, and it is supportive of a decline, bringing us back to that 58.50 level. Not the end of the world, right? We're just looking for it to come back down. For consolidation, a period of consolidation, kind of things come back together. But it's not happening yet because it's too fragmented as it appears from day to day as the different ETF managers, everybody who's just going in and out and readjusting for year end. So that's kind of like keeps us in limbo, so to speak. All right, so these are the irregular measurements. These are the additional fibs that could finish this in smaller C wave. And that one goes along with that smaller C wave. So yeah, is it a possibility? Always, but I'm actually going to edit it out because that's a little bit higher than I would expect this wave to get. So we'll leave it here, breaking out here. It still would be a C wave, but I think it should not go above these levels. Okay, these are the irregular, so the irregular B, and then we still have that C wave. And these are just for this normal C to make it more of a flat. If it gets up to 73, it still would be an irregular, but just not full blown. All right, let's go over and look at the NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ, which continues to be somewhat of the problem child, because here we have Apple having pretty much a great day. Tesla, for most of the day, had a decent day. SMCI just recovering or just adjusting from yesterday's strength. NVIDIA also trying to rally, dropping back, going into the red, coming back to the green. We had Netflix doing somewhat of a little bit of recuperation after dropping 32 yesterday. So again, what we're seeing there, but where did the money kind of start moving back into today, or at least for today? It moved back into Microsoft, it moved back into Meta, it moved back into Amazon and Apple. So it was Mag 7 focused, just spread out against those particular companies. Okay, and then we had others that didn't do so well. We had AMD get taken a little bit on the chin. We had AMAC continuing to just kind of play, between 172 and 174. So, but what is it going to do? Is it going to go back to 168? Or are we going to get to 177? That's the question. So we're still in that intermediate, or in that awkward type of a stage. CrowdStrike came out with their earnings. Now, yes, they had to factor in the largest failure that we saw in history, which is one that hit the airlines and everybody else, where it was just a massive outage. And this is the earnings report after that big outage. And even though they reported they earned money and that everything still looks good and they're looking good going forward, the stock is down 22, 23 from the close. Currently, it's 341.94, bid at 342.50. So that's kind of keeping things a little bit like, what do we do? What do we do, right? So they're just trying to make those adjustments. This is the NASDAQ on the hourly chart. I'm still considering this the the minute third wave right there at that November 11th high, which was 21,340.75. We've not really even came close. We did get above 21,000 today. And it looked like, oh, good, you're going to go up there and challenge that 21,081 number that we saw yesterday morning. No. Now, what do we have above here for this B wave? Right? Now, here you got all my stuff again, right? ABC minuet wave A, or the whole minute fourth wave. Now, if that's the case, then what the heck is this? It would have to be a 1-2, but then I got stuck. How am I going to turn this into any way, shape, or form a third wave? Now, if it's going to be 3, 3, Weird, but okay. A, B, C, 3. So that this fifth wave, if it is going to be a diagonal, as ugly as it appears right now. I'm leaving it out there as a possibility. Now, what happens if it's an A, B, and we're in the C wave? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly still bringing us up towards that 21,340. If indeed this is A and we're looking to put in a B wave, this has to be A, B, and this has to be the C wave. And I would think that we probably can come up to 21,135. Maybe even give a quick test of this 21,227. Those are fibs for this A wave. And that could be the B wave. But I'm also, if indeed this is or 4, this one just can go away. Or it's the 4, then this has to count as 5. And I believe it would be 1, 2, 3 up in here, maybe even higher. Be nice to have the 3 take out that high. Do a 4 and then a 5. Here continues to be, this is for intermediate wave 3, this is for minor wave 5. We got them up here above 21,000, 21,665, 21,718. We also continue to have them way up there, again, intermediate, minor, above 23,000. So those still are there. Is it still a possibility? Yeah, of course it is. But the market is not giving us any hints or even a wish list of what they think they should do in terms of what stocks are going to get pushed and pushed in a hurry. Now, if we get a day where they come in as a group and thought, you know what, NASDAQ, you're just really the leader. We've got to get all back into all of those stocks. So they all move together. Then we'll have a gigantic, powerful day, similar to here, but not necessarily. I think it has to be bigger to the upside to get us out of all this and to turn this more bullish. Now, even on this hourly chart, as we're kind of coming through, it's like, wow. Not that we're breaking to new highs, but you can see even new highs to this for the sequence, they're just not able to get any relative strength going there. Now, let me just kind of take this up a little bit, and you can see each level. Look at this. That was the November 11th high, and it really wasn't even overbought, but it was a new all-time high. Divergence. We continue to see divergence in the NASDAQ on the relative strength. Take it up again. Look on the weekly. Even stronger divergence. So NASDAQ, you got a lot of proving to do. Now, one other thing I will toss out and leave on the table is would it be highly unlikely or weird for the NASDAQ to do a minute fifth wave, minor fifth wave, basically as a failure? So again, I got to go out and we're going to look at, let's go out to the 4-hour. We're looking at that, which we have been above. So if this particular move just continues to fail, then I go back, ladies and gentlemen, to that alternate, which again still sits on the shelf. So in other words, the S&P might get up there and do it, break to a new all-time high, put in that minute fifth wave, the minor fifth wave, the intermediate third wave. But here in the NASDAQ, it already happened. It happened on November the 11th. And this is all building as a start of that intermediate fourth wave down. Now, if I bring that down to look at it again on my hourly chart, I I think I can work this all in and put this 5 ways down to here. And then there's all these threes, corrective. A corrective wave 2. Right? This gets put in, this gets put in at 5. I'm telling you, this is what I'm run through. Still on the shelf because I'm trying to deal in reality of like, okay, if we haven't seen the top yet, and we're not declaring any failures yet because it's already occurred. The highs already occurred, at least for the intermediate wave 3. And we're in intermediate wave 4. And we know the answer to that. We know where it should come. Back down here, we have lower levels for fibs, but that is a new all-time high. Can I really put it in as a 3 and a 4 and a 5? I don't know. I don't know. It has its problems. If I move that down, that over here, put the 3 over here, the 4 here, the 5 there, then I can. But a lot of people don't like that. And I'm not even showing that it doesn't necessarily work as well or what it could do. But this is the mess that we're in. And so that's where I'm going to leave this for right now. How do I want to say for tomorrow? I think we slow down even more. Now, remember, tomorrow, chock full of all the economic data that's supposed to come out on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, we're closed. Friday's half day. So they're jamming it all in tomorrow. And let me just say, I will go over it again for you. I know it's a big blank screen, so just bear with me 1 second. So what we have tomorrow, initial jobless claims, durable goods, advanced U.S. trade balance in goods, advanced retail inventories, wholesale inventories, GDP, Chicago Business Barometer, personal income, personal spending, and PCE index, and to cap it all off, pending home sales. That's all tomorrow between 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. So we could have some movement, and it may happen between 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then we're done. And I think as long as and they'll just trade and get themselves even, get themselves flat, whatever they need to do, and head out for the holidays. Now, me personally, I am going to be heading out for the holidays. So I will, of course, not be making an update tomorrow because we have the holiday on Thursday. Friday's a half day. If something truly bizarre happens between Wednesday and Thursday in those Globex sessions, I will jump in. I will put an update out on YouTube to at least bring up the situation. I will have my laptops with me and I'll be able to check in. But right now, my plan is to enjoy being with family. And so that's my intent. And so the next scheduled update would likely be the weekly, which I will put out on Sunday. If I don't, then it has to be possibly on late Friday afternoon. But I'm working with holidays here, folks. So, but I will get a weekly out, trying to wrap up all of this, what we're going through. And we'll see where it's all at. And in the meantime, I want to wish everybody a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, please be safe and be aware of all your surroundings, weather-wise, and enjoy family time. These are important. Let the market be the market. Try to enjoy, and we'll all see each other again on the next update, which will either be Friday or Sunday.